The target of a brazen smash and grab in Auckland had been trying to get support from the government's fund to help protect businesses. But Ellerslie Jewellers and Engravers was told in August that in order to get funding for protections like fog cannons, they'd need to be robbed first. Well, that's now happened after armed robbers smashed up the family business yesterday. The footage, quite shocking. We'll show it to you in a moment. Joining us right now, Acting Prime Minister Grant Robertson is with us for this and more this morning. Morena, good morning.
Kia ora.
Thank you so much for being with us this morning. I trust that you have seen what happened in Ellerslie yesterday and the members of the public who ran to help to try and apprehend these guys. What did you make of watching that?
Yeah, look, it's a horrendous situation, isn't it, for anybody who's involved in that, the owners of the store, the members of the public who are there. It's frightening, it's distressing, and we don't want anybody to have to be going through that situation. The small piece of good news here is that the people were apprehended quickly afterwards and have been arrested. But this is an issue. This is the type of offending, the ram raiding that is currently in fashion, as it were, and police have obviously arrested hundreds of people over the course of the last few months in that regard, and they have to keep doing that. And I know you're going to raise with me, Ryan, the fund that's available for people to be able to get support. We want that out there as soon as possible. The police are managing it. They are doing assessments. I know it's not as fast as people would like, and we're continuing to work with the police on how we can get that support out there as soon as possible.
Well, it's not just as fast as people would like. It's not as fast as they promised either. They said that they'd be getting through about 40 to 50 assessments per week. They're currently doing 15.
Yeah, exactly, and that is the commitment that was made. I absolutely accept that. The police have been standing this fund up from a standing start, as it were, but that's exactly what they said they would do. We're continuing to work with them to try and make sure that they've got the ability to get the resources out there. You know, they're doing their core job of arresting those who've done this offending, but we recognise we want preventative measures in place as well. That's the reason why the government put the money on the table, and we've got to work with police and those who are affected to get it implemented.
What do you say to the shop owners, to this shop owner in particular, who asked for help in August, has had none because they didn't qualify, others who were hoping to have inspections done, who haven't had inspections done? In May, they were told by the then Police Minister, Poto Williams, that this was going to be a really fast-tracked, immediate help to businesses. What do you say about your ability to deliver on that promise?
Yeah, look, the first thing I say is I know how distressing this is. I've had a shop in my own community where I've gone and visited the owners in the immediate aftermath of this, and it's a horrific invasion of their business and of their lives. So that's the first thing I would say. Secondly, though, as I said, we've put the money on the table. The police are administering this fund. We just have to keep working with them to find ways that we can distribute it quickly. They have criteria. They want to be able to work through, do those assessments. You're right, they haven't done as many as they committed to. I think they've done about 120 of them so far. We do want to see that speed up, and I know that the Police Minister is talking with the police about how we can do that.
Do you know how many shops have actually been fitted with fog cannons, etc., from the $6 million fund?
Ryan, I don't. Obviously, in the past, we've had significant number of fog cannons put in dairies, when we had that spate earlier on of dairy robberies. And this is, unfortunately, the way these people work who commit these crimes, is that it tends to go in a particular phase. At the moment, it's the ram raid phase. I don't have those numbers in front of me right now, but I know those assessments have been done, and we've just got to keep working with the police to get that out there. The police are arresting people here. They are getting to those who are committing these crimes. Yeah. But I recognise those preventative measures matter.
And the reality is that most aren't being arrested when it comes to ram raids in particular. But I hear what you're saying. The police are certainly doing all that they can. Do you think it's fair, just as a human being, matter of principle, that you have to have been robbed first before you get the money?
Well, that's the assessment process, is that we have to set some criteria for people, and I don't believe that necessarily it's a completely blanket rule in that regard. I don't know all of the circumstances around this individual shop, but I know that the police have to have criteria, as they do for any fund, or anyone would have for any fund that they're administering. But again, the police, I know, are constantly monitoring whether or not the criteria is correct, and I expect the Minister will be having those conversations conversations are with the police over the coming days.
What word would you use to describe these masked men who went into this jewellery shop yesterday?
Oh, well, they're criminals. And, you know, these are people who are acting outside the law, who are invading the businesses and the lives of hard-working people. It's hugely distressing. It's wrong. They are being arrested, and we have to make sure we continue to support the police to do that and to support the businesses who are affected.
Minister, Westpac put out its November overview this morning. In it, they say the pressure on prices and on wages means that there is, quote, no easy way down from our current economic situation. The odds of a soft landing getting slimmer by the day. This coming as probably no surprise. The OCR peaking, they estimate at 5% next year. Wages going up is almost part of the problem, isn't it? Part of this vicious cycle, with this inflation cycle that we find ourselves in. What is your message to businesses who are contemplating increasing wages? Is it helpful?
Well, clearly, you know, we want people to be paid to be able to meet their outgoings and live their lives, and we are seeing wage settlements that are just ahead of inflation at the moment. That's up to those employers as to what they can afford, their ability to attract staff and so on. I don't think we're in that spiral situation just yet, because most commentators still agree that inflation has probably peaked in New Zealand, and so we will see it start to slowly come down, but it won't be a rapid descent, as Westpac have said. And it's really the context of, I guess, the global economy that concerns me here. New Zealand's in a relatively strong position to deal with these issues, but we will still be impacted on it, and that filters down to that household level. So, you know, it is going to be a tough 2023. Low unemployment, low public debt, these are the things that help us get through this, but at an individual household level, there are some households who are going to be finding it very tough over the course of the next year.
But low unemployment is one of the things that's actually hurting us at the moment, isn't it? I mean, are you saying that wages going up has nothing to do with, or has no causal effect on inflation?
Oh, no, far from it. What I'm saying is that there's a balance here, isn't there?
Right, so where is the line for you then? Because it's not just private businesses who are paying people more, it's the public service as well. The Public Service Commission is looking at pay increases of around $6,000 to some education and public service unions. Isn't this going to make things worse?
Well, as I say, it's a balance. You know, we do have to make sure that we support people to be able to meet their costs and meet their outgoings. Throughout history, we've seen periods of time when we have high inflation like this. Most commentators agree we have peaked, as I said before, and so what we've got to do is work our way through it carefully. But, you know, it is a competitive labour market, you're right. The point I was making about unemployment was that New Zealand's starting point for dealing with a difficult time when many of our trading partners are forecast to go into recession is one that's strong, because we have people in work. If you've got your mortgage going up and you didn't have a job, it would be a much worse situation than one where you do. So there's a balance to be struck here. The government, private sector employers are all looking at what that balance looks like right now.
Minister, a couple of quick things before we go. Any decisions from Cabinet yet on an inquiry into COVID, Royal Commission or otherwise?
Still working on the detail of that, as has been flagged by both the Prime Minister and the COVID Minister. We understand that we do need to do an overall look back and the lessons that we've learned. We're just working through the details of that, but no announcement planned in the immediate future.
All right, and the black ferns. Hear me out, because we love everybody loves the black ferns. What was that? Oh, that was a fist pump. Yes, we're all very...
Multiple fist pumps, Ryan. Okay. Have you seen my tie, Ryan, too? It's my Black Ferns tie. I'm very proud of it.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Look, we're all just absolutely in awe of them. They are incredible. They are our heroes, and you know they are the country's heroes. I have an idea for the parade, because I know you've got something planned maybe for Parliament. What about, you know, in Auckland there's a Santa parade in about 2 weeks' time. Is there a possibility, because obviously logistically all the families are there already, there's traffic done, everything, you know, including them in that somehow?
Yeah, look, I mean, that's something for Auckland Council to work through with the team and with New Zealand Rugby. The logistics I referenced yesterday is that the team's going on a break, which you can absolutely understand, for a couple of weeks to go back and see their friends and their family. What we're going to do here at Parliament, what we've offered to do and we're working through with the team at the moment, is to do what we've done for the All Blacks and for the Silver Ferns as well. We have a public event here at Parliament, out on the steps, out on the lawn. We get thousands and thousands of people. They all get to see their heroes there. So that's what we've put on the table as something that we can do and we've traditionally done. Those parades are usually in the hands of local councils. You know, I think it will be tough for the Black Ferns to be able to get right around the country, but, you know, if Auckland Council wants to get in on that, I'm sure New Zealand Rugby will have a chat with them. We did have a good event in Auckland on Sunday, the day after, and I know the team really appreciated it. So, bit of a balance. The team need a bit of a break. We've got a bit of time before Christmas, but we really want to do something to recognise this incredible team.
Yeah, absolutely. Can we get the fist pump one more time?
No, I think you've had enough fist pumps for the day, Ron. I don't want to overdo it.
All right, Acting Prime Minister Grant Robertson, thank you very much for your time this morning. We appreciate it as always.
Cheers.